Tarot Oracle, and thank you for joining me for the Tarot of the Golden Wheel, an unboxing and a quick walkthrough. This is by Mila Losenko, and a lot of people have gotten this, and they were super excited about it, and I was a bit late in picking it up, but I now have it, and I'm pretty stoked about it. I know that Zach at the Tiger's Abyss highly recommended it, so I absolutely need to pick this up. Wow, just look at the book. That is a nice cover for a book. A lot of people just put text or some sort of a generic. That is really cool looking. So obviously it comes with a book, and let's see how long the book is. Looks like about 82 pages. It's cool. So she's from Russia, and you get plenty of varied descriptions for all of this good stuff. Let's see if I can focus. There we go. You get plenty of descriptions and all that good stuff. So, yeah, let's take a look at the book in a minute. First, I want to sort of dive into the cards. It's wrapped up in some plastic here. Let's get this off. All right, cool. So we have the Fool. That is a good-looking card there. The Fool. And here's the backs. The back is very golden. Tarot of the Golden Wheel, indeed. That is very golden. Wow, the images look stunning. I have to admit, online, they looked a bit digital. They looked a bit too digital, but in person, they look stunning. Yeah, so the card quality is pretty standard. Pretty standard card quality for mass market stuff. But yeah, those are some gorgeous images. Really nice images. High Priestess, the Emperor, the Empress, Hierophant. Some good looking imagery. I like that. It's sort of like this watercolor effect. So I really like the way that that's sort of pulled off. It's watercolor with a digital aspect to it. So interesting how they sort of approach this. I like it. I like the strength. It's not too detailed. Like it's not too much fur detail, for example, or whatnot. So it does look stunning. So I kind of needed to pick this up when it first came out, apparently, because it does look really good. So again, I don't know what they did on the site, but it just looked like the infinity symbol sort of weaved into the hanged man. Very cool. Justice, death, a bit grim there. I like it. Temperance. That's interesting. So it's not really anything being mixed. It's just sort of this, you notice the two different colors in the water. Now that is interesting. And the two different dynamics between the trees. So you still have that mixing, or you still have that back and forth, but just not with the water. The Devil, just straight to the point there. Tower. It's interesting. We have crows flying around instead of people falling out. So that's kind of cool. The Star, pretty standard, except with a double drop into the water. And then the Moon, sort of this backdrop. I like that. Looked like a big dinner plate as a backdrop. The Sun, pretty standard. Judgment. Now that is interesting. So there's nobody rising out of the ground. It's just sort of one person. And the World, where you don't have the different, well, you have the different elements, but they're just represented more via colors than anything else. So the Ace of Wheels, which I assume is their version of the Pentacles, and the Two of Wheels, the Choices. So the balancing, that juggling is still there, but it's more of a juggling sort of acrobat type thing. And then the Three, where we have the workload. So they're working, the Three of Wheels, but I don't see any wheels in there. Interesting how they redid that. So I like the borderless aspect, and again, I like the art. I like the shading on the wall in the back there as well. It's very cool. So the Five of Wheels, there we go, sort of the desolate feeling, but instead of being in a church, just sort of this pile of pentacles. And then the Six being handed out. 7, reward for your hard work. Instead of a tree, just sort of that plains, the plains aspect of it. I like it. The 8 of Wheels, again, very cool. And then the 9, The 9 of wheels, we have everything. And then the 10, the happy family, sort of that family aspect getting there as well. The page, interesting, sort of not really looking at it this time. The knight, very proud, and the queen, well, that's interesting, just sort of hanging there instead of holding it, just sort of hanging there. Then the king, very proud owner of his wheel. Ace of Wands, very, very fiery aspect there. I like that. And then the 2 of Wands, sort of clashing. The 3 of Wands, just sort of a domain feel or a looking out feel. And the 4 of Wands, the happy family, the happy home. 5 of Wands, a conflict. Now that's interesting how we have observers and then we only have 2 people conflicting. I like that. That is kind of cool indeed. So it's very, very good remake of some of the themes. Ooh, I like the 8. The 8 has that otherworldly expansion, the power, a lot of that. And then the 9 really sort of brings in that depressing feel. And the 10, being blindfolded as you have all of this and trying to sort of do almost acrobatics at the same time. So the 10, this really does show the heaviness of that 10, of the burden. The knight, I like the horse. I like the horse's expression. The queen and the king. Here we go with the cups. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I like that. That has a lot of different elements in it. And the 2 of cups, that happy sort of combination we have. Then the 3, pretty traditional 3 there. Pretty traditional 4 as well. But he's not being offered anything. That is interesting. He's not being offered anything. They sort of redid that. So the 5, pretty traditional. He just sort of sitting there, bored and upset. And the 6. And the 7, it's all the same choice. How interesting is that? You don't have this variety of choices between all the different otherworldly aspects. And the 8 is very traditional. 9, supposedly the best card in the deck, and definitely sort of shows that. And then the 10, that's interesting. So the cups are actually on the dress. A nice reimagining of that, a nice one. The Page of Cups, no fish coming out, but pretty traditional. The Knight as well, staring at it, very traditional. Queen and King. Here we are for the challenging aspect, the swords. That sort of really opens it up with that challenge, that challenging aspect. We have this dark feel for the swords, the 2 with that dark feel, the 3 of the heartbreak, except the heartbreak is more of an emotional expression here. And the 4 sort of closed in with those 4 swords. I like it. I like how they reimagined that. The 5, that defeat, the defeatism, except he looks defeated as well as that person. So the 6, there's no journey. They're just looking out for a journey. And then the 7, we stole some stuff. There we go. The 8, very heartbreakish. The 9, pretty traditional, nightmarish situation. And then the 10, a bit of an overkill. Only 3 swords stabbed in him. The rest are on the ground. And then the Page. And again, I like the color theme is pretty consistent amongst the swords, right? You have that color theme that's very consistent amongst them. So I really, really like that. So let's take a look at the book real quick. Again, I really like this. I like how it is rethemed and sort of rethought in a variety of ways. So let's see. We have the book intro. And then we have the Fool, sort of impulse. Let me refocus. The Fool, sort of that impulse feel there. And let's see. The Emperor, Heavenly Father, upright and reverse meanings, which is always handy. And let's look at the back. So we do have a couple of spreads. So we have the golden wheel spread. So we just have one spread, and then the rest sort of come into here. So the Knight of Wheels, reliability, just for an example. The Knight indicates calm, self-confidence, upright, and reverse meanings. So you get pretty good book. You get beautiful cards, and it was very reasonably priced as well, which is why I ended up picking it up. So yeah, I'm very pleased with the Tarot of the Golden Wheel. I like the consistent theme across the swords. I like the watercolor and yet a digital aspect mix between the two. And I like the reimagining of a lot of the cards to where, in other words, you have cups on a dress instead of cups just layered about the environment. You'll have the expressions are great. So overall, I think this was very, very well done, and I'm glad I picked it up. So that's an unboxing and a quick look at the Tarot of the Golden Wheel. Let me know what you think about it, as well as please hit like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate you watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.